All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Course Creator Community Podcast. I am super excited because we've got an awesome guest on the line this week. A little bit about this person. She's a business and marketing coach. She's a podcast host. She's a graphic designer and she's a sales funnel strategist. But most important, and the reason why I've got her on this podcast here, is she's the host of the Course Creator Conference, which kicks off next week. I recommend every single person attend this. I'll put the link down in the show notes. It's a free event, so you've got no reason not to attend. But anyway, without further ado, the one and only Tara Reid. Tara, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. You've got the big summit coming up next week. There's probably a million things you're planning to do, and you're here with me and my listeners. So thank you. And it's like super late over there. Where are you from, Tara? Let the listeners know where are you from and what's the time over there.
I am in Ontario, Canada, and right now it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening.
We're almost that's almost as far we're almost as far away as we can get from each other. It's 11 a.m.
Yeah,
Tuesday
that's
over
true.
here. Yeah. I think the furthest is actually Perth in Australia. If you're in Western Australia and you're in Eastern North America, it's literally like opposite ends of the world. You can go either way. If you're flying via plane, if you go that way or you go that way, it takes the exact amount same time, and you're exactly 12 hours apart. So it's 9 a.m. over there. It's 9 p.m. where you are.
That's awesome. It's really fun when you gain time when you travel, but
Yeah.
on the way back, if you lose that amount of time, it's not as good.
I'm going to the USA next week, right? And it's like I leave at 11 a.m. on today, and I get there at 11 a.m. today. So it's freaking awesome. But then the way back, I leave on like Sunday and get back on Tuesday. So that sucks. But
Mm.
hey, enough about my travel plans. Let's speak about you, Tara. Give the listeners a bit of background. I know you do a lot of different things. So if you can just simplify it in like a minute or two, what is it you do?
Yeah, so I have been an online entrepreneur for over 16 years now.
Whoa,
I've
whoa, whoa,
built
whoa. So you say over 6 years?
16 years. Yeah.
Did you start when you were three? Is that
No, I was 20. So I'm 36 now. So it's pretty much my whole adult life has been being a CEO and running my own business, which I really, really loved. I knew pretty quickly that corporate wasn't for me because I am a huge introvert. I just wanted to do my own thing, work on my own schedule. Um, and that was really what led me to entrepreneurship. My first business was actually a handmade jewelry business, which then moved into services and helping other entrepreneurs with their business. So right now, I'm definitely multi-passionate. I do a lot of things, obviously. I have a lot of digital products. I still have two businesses that I run kind of under the same umbrella. And one thing I really found is that a lot of my audience loves the fact that I have 8 different revenue streams in my business. I always talk about that and how I have these 8 different revenue streams. And one of the favorites, because a lot of my audience is also introverts like me, is they really love the idea of building digital courses instead of working one-to-one with clients or running live group programs. And that's why I really wanted to focus more on course creators and helping people create great courses, because I'm also a course junkie. I've probably signed up and taken over 500 courses over the years. So
Sorry,
I've seen
it broke. Did you say over 5 courses you've taken over the years?
500.
Okay. No, it didn't break up. You actually said 500.
Yes. Yes, being a multi-passionate, I love learning. So I love dipping my toes into different areas of entrepreneurship and marketing. So I love learning. And I found that being on that side of the course creation journey, there's a lot of things that people do wrong or don't necessarily do right when creating a digital course, which is why I really wanted to focus on this with the Course Creator Conference.
Yes, and I can't wait to get into this. I'm obviously a huge fan of online courses myself. I kind of actually let's get that. Let's chat about online courses in general, because me and Tara haven't chatted much, so we can. You don't mind if we chat on this podcast, do you, Tara?
Yeah, sounds good.
I kind of stumbled into the online course world, right? My background is in fitness. So I was a fitness trainer. And I ran like a face-to-face boot camp and loved it. But I was reading like different books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, passive income, yada, yada, yada. Or not even passive. I think it was just multiple streams of income. And I was like, you know what I could do? I could put together a course, because my fitness boot camp was really good. People were asking about me. I was attending other face-to-face courses, and I'm like, I think I can do this stuff. And then I just weighed up the things of face-to-face versus online. And I was like, well, if I do a face-to-face course, I'm going to have to find a venue. I'm going to have to hire out that venue. I'm going to have to pay that venue. Going to have to do the marketing. And then, if no one comes, I've lost the money on the venue, and even worse, if just one person comes, then like I actually have to teach it, and I've probably lost money as well. Let me look into this online thing. And I kind of just, went one, then the other, then the other. And now I see a lot of, advertisements online. Hey, be a high ticket coach, do this, this group programs and charge all this money, and nothing against it if that's that person's thing. But in terms of like a revenue stream, there's no better than an online course in my take. I think a lot of people who are revenue driven think that high ticket is the way to go. And I kind of disagree with that, because I feel like if you do high ticket, well, look, you got to put a lot of effort into making that sale. You're gonna have to get on a phone call, probably multiple ones, and objection handle and all that sort of stuff. And then you make the sale. There's probably going to be a lot of one-on-one time there, and people are going to ask you questions outside, and it's a lot of work. But whereas the online course side of things, yes, okay, the one thing may not bring in as much revenue, but your time is unlimited. It's kind of like, especially if you're selling mainly via email or conferences as you do, Tara, it's kind of like it's an endless side of things. So I love the online course side of things. Any what's your take on that?
I love that you said that, because I actually, one of my most popular emails that I've sent out to my list has been one where the subject line was, why I will never charge high ticket.
Mm,
And I feel the same way. I feel like a lot of people in the entrepreneur space are pushing high ticket, and that just seems like a lot of energy to me. And I'm very big on um, maintaining my energy, and I don't want to get locked into like this high ticket, high energy level program. I would much rather create digital products and courses that I can just sell as a self-study course and help people and give them extra support if needed.
yeah.
But I mean, there's no way I could have created as many offers in digital products as I have if I focused on high ticket and those high energy programs. Because yeah, high ticket is just not for me. I love evergreen. As an
Yeah.
introvert, if I get
Yeah.
sales that just come in through an evergreen funnel for a course, that is the best type of
Oh,
mail to receive.
you can't beat it. And it's like, I'll tell you, this might be a bit controversial. I think that high ticket coaches are doing that because they're not good enough to be online course creators, right? And also sell those online courses as well. It's easy to, I shouldn't say it's easy. It's like creating the course is one thing, but creating it to sell is another thing as well. But I feel like if you asked anyone in the high ticket space, hey, you can make as much revenue as you're making now, but you can do it without doing any work. What would you prefer, to keep doing what you're doing, or to like? No one's going to say, "Oh no, I'd love to." Yeah, and obviously, like, there's elements of that people may like as well, but just in terms of the model, I think there's no comparison. But anyways, let's dive into the conference. So I saw it online, Tara. A couple of my friends are presenting. And I saw it, like, I was like, oh my God, what's this? Why have I not heard about this? This sounds awesome. Because I'm also a conference junkie. That's what I'm heading to Singapore for on the weekend, to go to a conference there. And that's what I'm heading to the USA for, to go to traffic and conversions and funnel hackers. So I was like, these are like my two favorite things, like the course creators and conference as well. I got to click on this or something. And then I think you hit me up the next day. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Yes, I'd love to promote it and affiliate. So let me know about that story, Tara. When did this come about? Why did it come about? Let us know about that.
Yeah, so I think it was probably after the last virtual summit that I ran in April for introverts. I ran it at the time. I was feeling pretty low energy, so I actually ran it as a completely evergreen. There was no live components, And afterwards, I did get some feedback that people really missed that and wanted more live networking. And I was like, I know, I get it. But as an introvert, I just couldn't do it at that time. So I started thinking about my next event, and I started thinking about a lot of the people that I've worked with as a client through my group programs. A lot of the stuff I teach is about like evergreen sales funnels and email marketing and passive income or semi-passive income, because no income is totally passive. Um,
You know
and
what? Actually, can we spend a minute there? Because I think that's a good discussion. Because
yes,
I almost sit on the. Let me know your thought on that. Why would you say no income is 100% passive?
I feel like because you have to put some effort into it. So even um, I feel like there's mostly passive where it's
Yeah.
like you're maybe doing affiliate marketing in an evergreen piece of content, like a blog post. You just throw the link in there because it makes sense. And if you get a sale through that, then it is semi-passive, but you still spent the time to actually create that blog post and get traffic to it. Um, and then there's semi-passive. So I actually do a lot of guest speaking at other
Yeah.
summits and conferences. And I'm always an affiliate for those. So any affiliate sales I get through that, I'm like, it's not totally passive because I still have to send emails. I still have to plan when I'm going to send these emails to my list and post on social media. So it's definitely more passive than selling your own stuff, but
Yeah.
it's not totally passive like some people like to say it is.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'll tell you my take, right? I think there's one exception, right? And I think I may be one. I don't do it myself, but I do it for other people, right? So let's say in my business fitness education online, I'll essentially sell other people's courses, right? So they'll create a course, or I might even help them create the course, or whatever it may be. And then I've got the big database of fitness professionals. So I'll sell their course to my list, right? Not passive for me. I'm still doing the, I'm still doing the selling,
Mhm.
and I built the list and all that. But I think it's pretty close to 100% passive for them. Yes, they had to do the work at the start, but I think everyone understands you got to, do that work at the start. But after that, it's 100% passive for them, right?
Yeah, it's kind of it's pretty passive. And then I would say like definitely evergreen too, because they didn't expect it. It just
Yeah.
came through. Um,
I'll tell you another story on that. I'll tell you. Sorry, you don't mind if we go off tangent a little bit, yeah?
no, feel free. I love talking about anything marketing, course related,
Awesome, awesome.
entrepreneurship related. So it's all good.
So, because just saying that, I'm like, hold on, that's about as passive as it can get, right? Would you say it? Like, what's your take? That's for them. I know not for me, but for them, would you say that's about as passive as an income you can get?
Yeah, I would say so, especially if they didn't like provide you any affiliate like swipe copy or graphics that they
Nah,
spent time creating. If it was
nah,
just
nah.
you sharing it,
Yeah,
then yeah.
they got a good deal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm in the process of doing that in another niche. So I've got a friend of mine who's a nurse. Shout out Rory if you're listening. And I'm like, Rory, let's just do the same thing, man. Like what I'm doing here in fitness professional, because he's got an audience of nurses, right? I'm like, man, go and find nurses that are heavy, that have a specialty. Get them to create a course. I help them create a course, or I can help them create a course. That's not the hard part, all right? You can do that, and then you sell their courses to your audience at a 50% split. And he went out and spoke to a few people, and he's like, oh, Jono, no one's going to do it for 50-50. They want like 70-30 or like 65-35. And I'm like, come on, man, these people are still like, they're doing nothing. It's kind of like, do you want free money every single month in your bank account, or do you not? So I was like,
Hmm.
you'd agree, right? No way would you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyways, sorry, continue on that tangent. So, you finished your conference. It was a bit more of a passive kind of thing. You had some feedback saying we want some live stuff. How did that lead to the course creator?
Yeah, and I felt like a lot of people were really like when I talk about my multiple income streams, so many people in my audience were really wanting that evergreen course sales on autopilot through an evergreen sales funnel and marketing. And I felt like, okay, I can really help people with the marketing piece, but creating a course, being on both sides of it, like having access to so many courses and going through them, I know that like there's a lot more help that people need with creating a course that is actually good.
Mm.
Um, or there's also a lot of people in my audience who I know are multi-passionate as well. So maybe they struggle with which one idea to focus on to create into a course first. So that's where I really started thinking like, I want to do something where I can bring other experts together and really dig into everything involved with creating a course. So, I mean, we're not just talking about creating it, we're talking about pre-selling it, marketing it, setting up sales funnels for it. I think there's a presentation on even turning it into a private podcast. Like we've got live launch strategies, evergreen strategies, because I know a lot of people love live launches, but they've never been my favorite. I really prefer the evergreen just as an introvert. So I really wanted to touch on every type of information that you really need, depending on how you want to launch and sell your course.
Awesome. And you've got how many speakers you got there, or how many sessions?
I think there's 18 speaker presentations, and then we have, I think, 7 pre-recorded panels where I asked some really hard questions and they all answered and gave such. I've just been editing the pre-recorded panels, and it took me twice as long to edit them because I ended up watching through everybody's answer as I was doing the editing. But and then we also have a live panel or a live networking event every day as well.
So I got to ask, that sounds like a lot of work to put together. Was this a lot of work? Was this easy for you? Is this your specialty? Let us know a little bit about that process. Even kind of like, because there may be someone listening that wants to like do it in their field, right? What does
Mhm.
what did the process kind of, and you've obviously done it multiple times before, so it's easier for you, but like even for yourself, what does that process look like?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot easier. I know that the first one I did about 6 to 7 months of planning before
Yeah.
it actually went live. And I
Yeah.
think they usually say about 3 to 6 months, but I gave myself extra time just to
Yeah.
make sure I had everything checked off and ready to go. But for anyone listening who maybe wants to do a virtual event, they are a lot of work. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie about
Yeah.
that. They are a lot of work. There's a lot of pieces around it because you have speaker communication, affiliate communication. For this one, we even have sponsors. So then there was sponsor communication, making sure that we checked everything that we had to do for our sponsors to get them a return on their investment, and then the attendees and all of the free ticket, VIP ticket, all of the access and stuff. So there's a lot of moving pieces, but I do think one thing that helped me for the first one, especially like create a system and really make it so it could be streamlined for the next event, was a program called Summit in a Box.
Mm.
It is amazing. I definitely could not have done virtual events at all without that.
Yes, and I've connected. What's the woman's name that runs that program?
Krista Miller.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've had a few chats with her on social media. I think she's sponsoring your summit, right? Did I see that?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
She's our gold sponsor for the conference. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess even with did you start with the topics? Did you start with the speak? Like, were you like, all right, these are the topics I need. Let me go out and find a speaker that can do each one of these, or were you like, all right, let me find a bunch of people that I want to speak and ask them to do a topic? What did that look like?
For past ones, I've usually done like, okay, these are the kind of topics that I want to have covered. So if I can find somebody that really specializes in this, then I'm going to reach out and pitch them. But this one, it did come together really quickly. So I just put a call for speakers out to my email list and in a couple Facebook groups. And I had over, I think it was 125 applications. So
Woo!
I actually only pitched 2 people because we had so many awesome people who just applied to be a speaker or a panelist.
Yes. Okay. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's give it a bit of a plug, Tara. Every single person listening to this is going to be a course creator or a potential course creator. If they're well, first of all, it's free. So even get the free ticket if nothing else, you got nothing to lose. Like, even if you don't end up coming, like, it takes 5 seconds to register and put your email in, and maybe you get some free minutes and watch it or whatever. But give it a bit of a sell anyway, because time is valuable, right? There's going to be people that are like, oh,
Mhm.
I've been to these webinars before or summits or whatever, and do I really want to go for another one? Give it a bit of a pitch, Tara. Why should someone attend the conference?
Yeah, I think the big difference with this one especially is that I'm not a big fan of fluff content. So every
Yeah.
single presentation panel, it's very actionable and strategic. Especially the panels. Like I ask super hard questions of everyone on the panels. Um, and I feel like it's both for aspiring course creators, like day one is really for aspiring course creators. It's all about creating your first or your next digital course and making it one that is actually going to sell and is going to get your students results. And then day two, it's really for either current course creators or people who just hate selling. So it's all about marketing and actually getting sales for your course and pre-selling, because I love pre-selling, making money before it's even created.
Oh, yeah.
And then day three, we focus a little bit more on advanced strategies. So people who have maybe been creating courses, have been creating courses for years, have a good amount of income coming in, but really want to scale it up even further and create kind of a digital course empire. And we also have the networking event, which is an hour and a half live networking event where we're going to have breakout rooms where you can be put in a room with like, depends how many people show up live, but maybe like 5 to 10 other course creators. And those type of rooms and the connections that you can build are just so impactful and so huge. So even if you can't attend, I know it's a lot. Like I attend a lot of summits too. I think there's 5 other ones I'm signed up for this month. But what I recommend doing is just take a look at the schedule, just make note of which presentations are really relevant for you right now that you want to watch within the 24-hour free period that you can watch it. And even if you can't get to all the ones you wanted, we have for accessibility, we have transcripts. So you can even just go in and download all the transcripts and you'll have those forever.
Awesome. I'll give my take for Summit. So I'm a huge fan of learning as well. That's why I'm in the online course space. And I love conferences, like one of my favorite things to do. There's a few reasons why I'd recommend everyone attend this. I haven't seen another one just for course creators. Have you, Tara? Have you seen like another summit or conference? Like, I know there's marketing ones, there's sales ones, there's, ClickFunnels ones or whatever.
Mhm.
I, I don't think I've seen a summit, not for years anyway, just on course creation. Have you? Are you,
I can't honestly think of one, which is weird because it's such a huge thing in the online space to create courses, and it's such an amazing income stream. And there's so many helpful resources for creating a course, but there's not actually live events or summits.
yeah, that's why I was so excited when I saw yours. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'd never, because like otherwise you're almost kind of trying to like I'm going to, I think I mentioned, traffic and conversions and funnel hackers, and that's great. It's going to be a lot of good info, but it's not necessarily specific for course creators. There's going to be people, hey, you do high ticket, here's what you do. Hey, you do e-commerce, here's what you do. Hey, you do fitness, here's what you do, or whatever, right? Like, to have something so specific just for course creators is an amazing opportunity for everyone to come. And there's obviously webinars here and there, but most of the webinars are just people trying to sell their own stuff, right? Which is fine as well. But there's a difference between attending a 45-minute webinar from someone trying to pitch you something, or attending a 3-day summit with multiple different things going on there. Or the other kind of webinars you see are from the course platforms. And once again, yes, they're good.
Mhm.
They're good.
Yeah.
It's good content, but it's usually just a 1-day thing or a 1-hour thing, and they're just pushing their kind of software. So that's why I'd recommend everyone here go. There's nothing more like specific if you're a course creator. It's like over here in Australia, we've got a big fitness convention that we go to every year. And it's kind of like a place where every fitness professional goes and you see what's going on in the industry. And it's almost like if you don't go to that, you fall behind, right? that would kind of be my advice for the listeners here. Just come across, even if you don't, even if you know 99% of the stuff, there might be the 1% of the one thing that you didn't. And by going there, that takes your business to the next level. All it takes is one idea, and that can make you $1 million. So that's why I
Mhm.
reckon that's the major reason why I recommend go. But on top of that, it's also great to see other people in the industry. Like some of my favorite things to do is like I'll go to a conference and then I'll see someone and I'll be like, that's awesome. I'm going to go and buy that person's program because like usually I'm not sure about. I haven't been to your one. I'm not sure, but most of the ones I go to, the sessions are 30 minutes, maybe an hour. There's only so deep you can go on one topic in that time. But a lot of the time, that speaker will have a course or a program. And it can be like, okay, this opened my eyes. Great. Now I'm going to go deeper down that and learn a heap of that. And you wouldn't have even known
Mhm.
about this thing if you didn't go to the conference. And then even just collaborations from there. Like if you're a course creator and that person's in a space, you may see that person be like, oh, that could be a good person I collaborate with. So yeah, I recommend every
Mhm.
course creator go. We'll put the link in the show notes. Um, there's a few questions I like to always finish up with, Tara, not specific to the conference. And the first one is around mentors. So you're obviously a mentor for plenty of people out there that want to get better at sales and marketing in the online world. I'm curious to hear who your biggest mentors have been. And if you could answer this in a few different ways, if you could give us a paid mentor, so someone that you've paid money to, you've done their course or their program, an unpaid mentor, so someone that you haven't paid, but you follow them on social, you listen to their podcast, read their blogs, whatever it may be, and a book that you recommend every online entrepreneur slash online course creator should read. So paid, unpaid, book.
Okay, so paid, I would probably say Elizabeth Goddard. She runs a amazing program called Profitable Playground, and it's all about looking at your business as a playground. Like she's the queen of multiple offers, which really resonates with me being a multi-passionate and having so many offers. And I really just love everything she does. So that's definitely the paid one. Unpaid, I would probably say another multi-passionate that I really look at a lot of her content is probably Jenna Kutcher.
Mm,
So her Facebook group is probably one that I'm most not active in. I more just read everything, just consume it. Her blog, her podcast. So probably that. And for book, I would say the book that really made the difference for me was Profit First.
mm,
I'm not good with money.
mm,
And when I first started at like age 20, I really wasn't focused on paying myself. I think it also was because like I started my first business as a handmade jewelry brand. Like it was kind of a hobby as it
yeah.
started out and then it grew into six figures. And so I didn't know what I was doing. So profit first, definitely.
Yes, good tips. Elizabeth Goddard is on my Facebook profile. You heard when you mentioned, I was like, I think I've heard that, and I saw she made a post the other day, and I'm like, I don't know how we became connected, but somehow she's on my Facebook, so now I'll watch her post there. Jenna Kutcher, I haven't followed her a lot. I see her name everywhere. I think she's got the number one podcast in the online marketing space. Whenever I'm doing my
Hmm.
research, she's always number one. I don't know how much she gets, and she's actually going to be at Funnel Hackers Live next month, or next week. So I'll see her live.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
Profit First, one of my favorites too. And I had a guest on here last week who gave that exact same book recommendation, Jarks Hopkins. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to bump Tara's up. So her podcast will come out before his because the event is on Monday. But he recommended that book as well. And it's like a game changer for people like us that um let me think how I put it. I just like when I started in business, Tara, I had no idea. Like I'd pay myself into the business account and I'd just pay the expenses out of that account. And then I'd be like, oh, I'll leave a bit of money in there because I know I'm gonna have to pay taxes one day. So I'll give myself a buffer. Oh yeah, that account's building up. So I might withdraw some money now. And like I'm not gonna say it was a nightmare. It kind of worked at the time, but it's really hard to grow a business like that, And then you get hit with a
Mm.
tax bill and then you got to pay it. And then you're like, oh, should I invest in this thing here, or is that too much money? And just to let the listeners know as well, I'm just going to simplify the book for the listeners, right? Obviously, listeners, I recommend go out and get the book. But the moral of the story is essentially like, pay yourself into a business account, but then divvy it up into different things. Hey, I get paid whatever. I made whatever it is, $10,000 this month here. Great. Straight away, I'm going to pay myself X amount or X percentage. Straight away, I'm going to put X amount into taxes. Straight away, I'm going to put X amount into expenses for next month or whatever. There's a whole formula behind it, but the simplified version is that. And it just makes things so much easier. It's like, if you have a bad month, you don't even feel it as much because you're like, well, everything I'll spend a little less next month. I'll, save a little less for tax or whatever. And the other key thing I like that changed my life about that book is the always taking the payments out the first of the month or something, the fourth of the month or whatever. Like, that was game changing for me. Like, for the listeners, one of the principles is, try and get all your direct debits to come out on the one date or max, 2 dates. And for me, that was so helpful because it's kind of like at the start of every month, I transfer, I think, I do about 40% into expenses, right? And then all my regular expenses, subscriptions, whatever, comes out early in the month. And then I know how much I've got to play with the rest of the month. And that's just such a relief as opposed to not knowing when things come out. So I love that. Next question, Tara, is around online course platforms. So there's so many of them out there, right? I'm curious to hear which one you use for your courses or which one your favorite is.
I probably at one point or another tried them all. So I'm actually using ThriveCart's Learn platform now just to keep everything in one, because I've always used ThriveCart for my checkouts and funnels and tripwires and all of that stuff. So once they came out with the Learn platform, even though the month before they came out with Learn, I had actually just built my own course membership dashboard on my website. And I was like, oh, but I ended up moving it again anyway.
Yes. Well, let's spend a minute here as well, because it's an interesting one, ThriveCart Learn. Let me know what are your thoughts, Tara? Actually, let's go back a step. Just course platforms in general. Which ones have you tried? Which ones do you like? Which ones do you don't like? Tell us about kind of your journey there with course platforms.
I think the first one I tried was Teachable with my very first course. Then I've tried Thinkific. I tried New Zenler. I tried Kajabi, Podia. And then the one that I built on my own website, that was through Access Ally. So yeah, I feel like I've tried them all. I feel like for me, I found my least favorite was actually Kajabi. I could never get into the interface and how things were laid out. I don't know what it was. I'm also like, I went to school for website design, and I just found like it was super hard to actually design the way I wanted it to look on Kajabi. Yeah. So that was the reason for me. But as a student, I love Kajabi. I love how it's all tied to one login. I have the one app where I can log in and I get everything through Kajabi that I've signed up for. So I do love it as the student, but not for my own courses or program.
Yeah. I think Kajabi is my favorite, the down point is the price. I think it's significantly more expensive than the rest of them. That's why for most course creators starting off, I wouldn't recommend it. Even though I think it's pretty good, it's still a little too expensive for the start off. So that's why I usually recommend New Zenler to start with. I'm not a massive fan of Teachable and Thinkific. I find that I think they're really good for the actual course side of things, but I think they lack a little in like the funnels and the sales pages, and they usually don't have a lot of email marketing. Would you agree with that? With those?
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think I like Zenler and Kajabi because I think they're a bit more all rounded. I do prefer Kajabi to New Zenler, but New Zenler is just so much more affordable. So I think it depends where you are on that there. In saying that, I think it gets to a point like, I think if you're a new course creator, it's better to start with an all-in-one. Have your
Mhm.
courses, your marketing, your email. It's just so much less to worry about, right? But I think once you get more advanced, then you go back to separating again because you're kind of like, you know what? Kajabi's email's good, but Active Campaign is so much better. I'm going to put my email over there, or like Kajabi's checkout is good, but Thrive Carts is so much better. So then you kind of end with a bit of a Frankenstein. Um, but I think it's okay at that stage because you know what you're doing. It's overwhelming at the start. Like my ideal would be Thrivecart for the checkout, Kajabi for the hosting, Active Campaign for the email. But I wouldn't recommend anyone start off like that. I recommend everyone just start off with the one. But I think that would be my ideal. What about you, Tara?
Yeah, I definitely agree that starting with an all-in-one is going to be so much easier, and learning, especially if you're learning a new system, having to learn one instead of two or three is going to be so much easier. And it's also going to probably be a better experience for students too, because it's all in one. So there's not going to be like hiccups. You're not going to have to worry about setting up zaps or integrations
Oh,
between everything.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and now Thrive can't learn. So I love Thrivecart. I was a late adapter. I started off with Samcart, right? I think Thrivecart is better. And the deal I got on, Samcart I pay $100 a month. Thrivecart I bought for $500 lifetime access. I've wasted so much money on Samcart. So for the listeners, don't make the same mistake. Thrivecart is better and cheaper. You used Samcart at all, Tara?
No, I never did. I have a few affiliate programs that use Samcart. That's I log in there, but I've never used it.
It's not as good as Thrivecart, right? Even from your affiliate versions.
I wouldn't think so, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I agree. So,
Yeah, definitely not the offers that I've bought through it for sure. And yeah, I love that now Thrivecart has Learn attached to it,
oh,
because I mean, I can host my courses and all my digital products without a monthly fee too, which is
you,
great.
I was like you. As soon as that came out, I'm like, damn it, it's $200 or something. I bought it for, the loan. I'm like, take my
Hmm.
money. Even if I don't host it, I want that option there. Um, I do on this business course creator community. I do now use Learn as well, just for the ease, because I'm always going to use the Thrive. And I'll just explain the listeners why I love the Thrive cart checkout over New Zenler, or I think Kajabi as well. On New Zenler and on like Teachable and Thinkific and that, like if someone's going to buy, they need to create an account and log in first. And that's just so inconvenient for the buyer. And especially if I'm selling to my warm list, they've probably got a freebie on there. They've bought a course before. They can't remember their password. They forget their password, then leave the page, or they press forget password and that goes to their junk and they never check it. And, there's just so much that can go wrong. Whereas Thrivecart, you just buy. You go on there and you buy, and then you create the thing later. So I'm always going to use that. And then I'm like, you know what? Instead of having just a zap to New Zenler, I'm just going to host them on Thrivecart Learn. It's just way, way better there. I haven't had a good look at the actual course platform on there. What's your thoughts, Tara? Good, the actual, like, I know for the carts and the sales and the affiliates is amazing, but from the
Hmm.
actual course side of things, is it as good as a Teachable or a Kajabi or?
I think it's as good. I think,
Okay.
especially, I know they've rolled out even some new like design templates. So they keep adding new features too, which is great. And they're really customizable. Like you can really brand it how you want it to look, which as a designer, I love.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, Tara, that's pretty much all I wanted to get through today. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people listening to this. They're like, all right, this woman is awesome. She's doing these really cool things. I'm definitely going to attend the conference, but I also want to follow her as well. Where's the best place to follow you? Is it Facebook? Is it your email list, your podcast? Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
I would probably say my email list is number one. Just I recently left Instagram. I
I
just finally
saw
had
that.
enough of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
probably my email list is where I'm the most active and sharing the most content. So if you go to my website at thetarareid.com, I have a page full of free resources. There's over a dozen, I think, freebies that so if you sign up for one, you'll get on my email list and get all of my future good content.
Awesome. I'll put that link in the show notes. And give your podcast a plug as well, Tara, because people are listening to this, they're podcasters. You can never have too much good podcast to listen to. What's the name of your podcast?
Yeah, my podcast name is Introvertpreneur. So it's primarily talking about marketing for introverts, but I mean, really, it's for anyone who just struggles with marketing in general. Even you don't have to be an introvert if you just want to learn other marketing methods that are maybe a little less stressful and less having to constantly hustle and put yourself out there all the time. We also talk a lot about productivity, burnout, mindset, all kinds of things. And I've had some really incredible guests on too.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to get through, Tara. Is there anything I should have asked you but forgot to, or anything you'd want to finish us off with?
Um, I think I just had one question for you because as we were talking about ThriveCart, I'm curious, did you sign up for ConvertBox when they bought that and rolled that into their product suite?
No, I don't even know what ConvertBox is. I think I see it on their website. What is ConvertBox?
So ConvertBox, it's a really intuitive little pop-up sidebar that you can really use to drive sales, drive opt-ins for your emails. So they're like, I have one that's, for example, for my content marketing mistakes freebie. So any blog post that I've written that has the word content in the title, it'll automatically pop up with that little
No.
box like, hey, you want to grab this? So you could use it for sales for certain pages or other stuff. But yeah, it's amazing. They bought that. I can't remember if it was earlier this year or what, but yeah, I grabbed that as a lifetime offer too.
Yeah, you're like me. These lifetime offers are good, right? What can I ask the price
Yeah.
on that?
Um, I can't remember offhand.
All right. Well,
I
I'm
love
gonna.
you can also use it right within ThriveCart checkouts too. Like if somebody goes to use your checkout and goes to close the window, you can have it pop up like, hey, are you sure you're not going to get this deal again or something like that. So it's really fun to
Ooh,
incorporate that into your marketing.
I think you've sold me, and I might go on your. You got a ThriveCard affiliate? Oh, actually, I use my own affiliate link to. I know you can't use your own affiliate links to buy it. Send me an affiliate.
All right, I will send you that. Yeah, I am a affiliate for ConvertBox. I know I'm still waiting for the affiliate for ThriveCard. I've been waiting for 2 years and I'm
I'll give
still
you. I'll give
not
you a tip.
approved.
I'll give you a tip. That was me, and I followed. I don't know if this will work for you, but this worked for me. I was like, I applied, and then it was maybe 3 months or something, and I emailed them. I'm like, hey, it's been 3 months. Like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, as you can understand, it's a popular platform. A lot of people, we only really take, we take, we take a lot of time, and we only select, like, is there any reason why we should, push you to the front? And I was like, well, look, I've got a podcast. It's got X amount of downloads. I've got a Facebook group. It's X amount of members, so I'd love to promote. I've got an email list. It's X amount of long. I'd love to promote it to them if you allow me. And then like the next week they allowed me. So I was like, sick.
Oh, that's
So maybe do that. Follow
awesome.
up.
Yeah, I will
Le-
definitely do that.
Leverage the conference. Say, hey, I've got a conference. I'd love to promote ThriveCard in there, but I'm actually not an affiliate. Is there any way you could get it in the next couple of days? And they might bump it up for you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I will definitely do that
Yeah,
right
yeah. And
away.
for the
Yeah, it's
listeners,
been
there's a
2
good.
years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would, unless I emailed them, I would have been the same. Awesome. All right, Tara. Well, hey, thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.